are you today on this Monday?
Monday, feeling good.
Feeling good, feeling fresh and ready for another week ahead.
Oh, I don't know about that. You could take it too far.
I know, it's getting hot now.
Yeah, I know. I feel so just sluggish with the weather and the heat and the...
I think most of us out there are feeling that way, yeah? It's quite normal at this time of year to feel a little sluggish until we acclimatise. But I can tell you something today that might give you a bit more energy, and that is eating raw food. So what might that mean to you then?
Well, sushi came to mind, but I don't think that's what you're going to be talking about. I love a bit of sushi, to be honest.
Me too. Well, basically, if you eat more fresh and raw food, it's a great way to increase your immune function. And also makes you feel satisfied as well. It diversifies your menu and you can supercharge your diet. So adopting a raw diet doesn't mean living off just sushi alone, but it does effectively mean not cooking.
Yeah, so nothing being heated, just as it comes is as you eat it.
Exactly. Live food. Okay, so live food, for example, a cooked seed won't grow, right? But a raw seed will. So heating food for over 118 degrees destroys much of the nutrients in your food. Okay, that's Fahrenheit, by the way. But cooking food also diminishes the natural life energy. So it's kind of nice to think about putting living food into your body rather than cooked food, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, of course, today we're talking about this being not something to follow all of the time, right? It's just, again, adopting a little bit more of a diversification into your daily diet. So maybe you'll have 2 meals a day that are pretty much raw food. For example, eating yogurt with fruit is raw. It's not cooked, right? Same as eating just like a smoothie, it's raw. So it doesn't have to be sushi or living completely without a cooker or anything heated. So you don't have to think of it like that. There's something that lives within all food, and that is enzymes. So again, cooking food destroys much of the natural enzymes that are in your food. And these are needed to break down nutrients. So by eating raw, you eliminate this problem. So if you eat raw, you effectively digest or ingest more of the nutrients.
I always know that my mother, we've had many a small bust up over cooking vegetables because I'm not talking about raw here, but she absolutely nukes vegetables.
Really?
Boils them to an inch of their life, and I hate that. I usually dip them. Yeah, I like things
they should be crunchy, right? Yeah.
But even that, I know, like you say, obviously, even when you heat it through, it loses some of that.
I think, like with vegetables, it is a difficult one because people think, well, they're eating veg, so why does it matter? But when you cook your broccoli, the water is not supposed to go green, right? The minute it's gone green, you've basically lost all the nutrients in that water, which you pour down the sink. I spoke before in the show, haven't I, about when I was a kid, my dad used to make cabbage, and the water that the cabbage was in, we would drink this, and it's called cabbage brie.
So disgusting.
Sounds gross. It was actually nice. It was really nice, I promise. But it's quite salty, right? But that's getting the goodness out of the cabbage. Like, you're not throwing it away. And a lot of people use that for stock and soup. Yeah. It's like a good way of
keeping some nutrients in.
Yeah, you're not just throwing things out, yeah? So if we think then about eating raw food, I've done a little bit of research on this. I do follow quite a raw diet, to be honest. I live off a lot of yogurt and fruit and vegetables. I'm not vegetarian, I do eat meat, but I try to keep things pretty much raw when I can. And in my research, I found out that the more people who ate raw diets, like all of the time, found they had more energy. Maybe this is behind my talkative nature. So you might not know this until you try it for yourself, but eating raw is meant to give you an amazing boost in energy because you're eating basically from the earth. Yeah, you're eating that raw ingredients. So you're not losing it all through manufacturing process. So around that 2-3 o'clock time of the day when a lot of us feel a bit of a slump, if you start eating a raw diet, you might find that actually goes away. So maybe you should give this a try, Laura, right? Maybe you should try and see if this is going to affect your lethargy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it also helps you to sleep better. I feel like I sleep better when I eat a raw diet. I feel like I'm nourished, I have the right food in my body. If you eat, let's say, for example, a cooked meal at nighttime, and maybe the sauce, you bought it in the shop, right? Okay, fine. But maybe in that sauce, there's things like sugars and things that give you a bit more energy. So then you can't sleep as well. but not natural energy. They're giving you a sort of a fake energy. Your blood sugar spikes and then you feel cranky. And, so sometimes when you eat raw, it's just going back to basics, essentially. And it can also, a lot of this information I'm giving you today has been found in studies that have been made on people who followed raw diets for years. They found that this also helped people with mental clarity. So eating raw can help you focus on things that are important, and just tune in more to yourself, because you're being quite self-reflective then. You're very aware of what you want to eat. And it's not following a diet, it's like listening to, I really want a date. I feel a need for sugar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reach for the date. And that way you can eat as much as you want then. It's not that you're on a diet, so you have to not have this and not have that. But if you try just to stop cooking so much, you'll tend to find that you gravitate more towards these raw foods, and especially in a climate like here. What's wrong with having salad? That's raw, right? Salad, smoothies. These are all cold items, which are quite nice over this hot summer that's coming. And also, I guess, the kind of benefit would be less cleanup, right? You're not cooking, so you don't have all these...
Less washing up. That's it. It gets good enough for eating
pots
for me.
and pans and all of that. And not to go into too much graphic detail here, but you become more regular. If you follow a raw diet, you know about all this, right?
All the fibre, everything's going to be A-okay.
Exactly. Naturally, do you know that you should have 2 to 3 movements a day? Naturally, yeah. So if you're going less than that, it could mean that your intestines are unhealthily clogged. So you hear about all these people going for these colonic irrigation things, right? I'm not into this. I just think your body's you're supposed to take food in your mouth and it goes the other end, right? So that's a nice tract, and you can just keep that nice and clean with nice healthy food, and you can clean it out with some nice lemon with hot water. And we had someone, I think last week, ask actually about, we were talking about sugar.
Yes, we were.
And somebody texted, and I left the studio, and they asked if drinking hot water with lemon would help them lose weight. So I hope you're listening out there. No, in a nutshell, it won't help you lose weight. But the reason that's come about is there's quite a fad to do this, and I love to do this. Hot water with lemon is a really nice way to clean out your GI tract, your gastrointestinal tract. A bit like pipes in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Maybe they get a bit dirty. You
Fill it banging.
Yes, exactly. You put Mr. Muscle stuff down there and clean it out. Our system is the same. We have obviously natural functions to help clean our system out, but nice lemon with hot water produces enzymes to help break down some of that stuff that's sort of stuck in there. But it can also help boost your metabolism. So that's where the fat burning thing comes into it. People think that it helps you lose weight. Effectively, it kickstarts your metabolism because a lemon is a food. So the minute you eat any food in the morning, your metabolism kickstarts. So it's a good thing to try. Why not try it? Have hot water with lemon. Put a lot of lemon in. If you don't like the taste of just hot water, put a lot of lemon and feel that your system's getting cleaned out. And again, that is helping you to go raw. If you're like myself and you quite like to connect with nature and all of these things, eating a raw diet also helps you feel a little bit that you're in connection with earth and stuff. It's a bit hippie-ish for some of us maybe. But, you know, keep in mind that you don't have to make all these changes overnight. It's a process.
I was going to say, going from 0 to 60 on a raw diet, you're going to crash.
Definitely.
It's not going to be a...
And I'm not one, I don't like to advocate diets as such. I think that you should just eat healthily and listen to your body, but try new things every so often. So yeah, why not try just to go a week without cooking? It's not a bad thing.
Oh, I think I'll be like hugging
Seriously?
the cooker.
Really?
There's nothing better than a hot meal.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem.
I really could just, I don't really care
just
for
don't care for it.
No,
I'm just like... a hot meal.
It's nourishing, I suppose. It's nourishing. But, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not to be, you don't have to stick to it forever. But if you focus on eating more raw food rather than taking an all or nothing approach. So, you know, if you do that all or nothing thing, it is quite difficult to follow, isn't it? As well, I find if you're striving for perfection, and this is, guys, this is in your job, in your body, you're not going to get there just overnight by doing anything, whether it's a new job or you know, following a diet to try and lose weight. You're setting yourself to fail in a sense. So why not just stop a little bit, slow down? There's no point in going fully into this. Why not just have a smoothie? Try a smoothie every single day. How good is a smoothie, right? It's so wonderful. And you can have a fruit smoothie, or you can go for the green option with kale and add some fruit into that as well. I just this morning had a really nice one: kale, cucumber, orange, pineapple, and ginger.
No, that sounds really tasty.
I blitzed that up
You
myself.
should have brought some to the studio.
I know, I should have. It's
I
too
don't think boys
healthy.
would have had
It's
it,
too
though.
healthy for Scott.
Like, I'd rather have a Mirinda, I think.
Yes, that's his type of drink. But, you know, by doing that, that's raw. And you feel so healthy from it because it's fresh. But I know a lot of you out there are like, oh, you're such a killjoy. You know, you're always talking about healthy food. I'm doing it for the best of you.
Well, there are people out there living here in Doha who do eat raw and completely
Yes.
advocate it. And there are classes of cooking raw and all
Yes, there
sorts.
are.
So
There
you can
are.
go online. If you look for it, you'll find a wealth of information there as well locally.
Absolutely.
For
And there's a
people who are-
reason that there's a movement in it. It's not because it's some kind of weird thing. There is benefits behind that. Like I've said, I've listed them today. So definitely, if it's something that interests you, then check it out.
Give it some research.
Yes.
Well, we'll see you again on Wednesday this week.
Wednesday.
What are we going to be chatting about?
We're going to be talking about exercise. I had somebody ask me about the best way to warm up and cool down and why we have to do this. So it might sound a little basic and simplified, but it's actually quite important. So I'm going to give you some tips on that.
Excellent. I'll get lunging and
Yes.
see you then.
Okay.